yeah, let's try the Dark Knight, which is, yeah, I think my second main character after the summoner, because I always want to have a tank leveled up, and yeah, so far in Shadowbringers I like the Dark Knight the most, because the playstyle was just so action driven, so energetic, so yeah, you always had something to press, and that's what I really liked. So let's see how it looks in Endwalker, featuring Larry's media tour coverage again.
In Shadowbringers, you know, Dark Knight had its time in the sun, or darkness maybe, rather. And even though this expansion is called Endwalker, Dark Knight thinks it's actually called Shadowbringers 2. This is its job gear. I think it checks all of the edgy boxes, you know, on account of the fact that boxes have 4 edges. And I like the red tattered crotch cape in particular. But first, I have a disclaimer. I was sponsored by Square Enix to try out this development build of Endwalker, and everything that you see here is subject to significant changes. That includes potencies especially, since a lot of them change throughout all of the jobs. I would not worry about them. But anyway, let's take a look.
Let's take a look.
Firstly, and most importantly, Dark Knight has a new move, aptly named
Shadowbringer.
You can be
amazing.
The Shadowbringer. It's a 600 potency AoE with 2 charges, and you get 1 every minute. Not only that, but your Simulacrum also gets the Shadowbringer, so please enjoy. Dark Knight also got the tank spam attack rework. Delirium is no longer a 10-second duration, but will instead give you 3 stacks of Delirium.
Ooh,
you can spend these
okay.
stacks on either Bloodspiller or Quietus. Reason it's 3 instead of 5 now is because it's a minute cooldown, down from 90 seconds. Salted Earth is no longer a ground target.
Okay, that's something I really like, because that not only means that you're able to use it more frequently while losing some spamming frequency here, but you're also not dependent on spell speed anymore, or not that dependent like you were before.
Stacks of Delirium.
Yeah.
You can spend these stacks on either Bloodspiller or Quietus. Reason it's 3 instead of 5 now is because it's a minute cooldown, down from 90 seconds. Salted Earth is no longer
No, here we got
a
Blood
ground-targeted
Weapon,
AoE,
okay?
but an AoE immediately around you. This required an animation change, of course, where you punch the ground, and this is very important. Not only that, but after you use it, it changes into its combo action. Salt and
nice.
Darkness. Yes, Dark Knight is very salty and edgy. Salt of Darkness will make your Salted Earth pulse for a 500 potency attack, whole bunch of salt. Now, since the other tanks stole Dark Knight's homework when, you know, they all copied the Blackest Night, Dark Knight has 2 of them instead. The new one
nice.
is called Ablation. It's got 2 charges and can be cast on yourself or a party member for a 10% damage.
Yeah.
And actually, your Simulacrum also gets a new buff. All of its potencies are increased by 300. So you
Okay.
can it's stronger than you. Here's a nice little thing. When you unmend, it'll knock 5 seconds off of your plunge cooldown. Please do not spam unmend in order to get unlimited plunges. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And that about does it for Dark Knight. I hope you enjoy.
Okay, that's actually very minimal.
And being the Shadowbringer. Thank you so much for watching, and all of my videos on the Endwalker job changes are out now, so check out the playlist in the link in the description below to watch the next one. Okay, bye.
Let's see this. Yeah, this Shadowbringer ability is awesome. Okay, so to sum it up, we have Salted Earth that combos into something. No, let's start here somewhere. Okay, first of all, we have nothing changes to the combos, at least. So combos are staying the same. Then we have Delirium being changed significantly, which I really like so far. But as I have seen that there's still Blood Weapon in the game, that still kinda means you have to be very precise with your skill speed, melding and gearing up, so that you at least get some weapon skills into your Blood Weapon window. He hasn't mentioned anything about Blood Weapon. Yeah, maybe I will give some info afterwards when I've checked this. But yeah, I like Salted Earth change is awesome. I'm not sure if it's still having the same animation delay. Let's check this.
5 now is because it's a minute cooldown down from 90 seconds. Salted Earth is no longer a ground target.
Yeah, he hasn't weaved it in. Okay. Yeah, we have to figure that out. It feels snappier,
is no longer a
but it definitely feels like it could still be animation delay because your character's actually doing a very extensive animation with it.
500.
Okay. So it does still stay in the Salted Earth AoE circle. So make sure that you're not using this when enemies are not standing in that. Or yeah, you have to use this before enemies are leaving your zone. Yeah, you're right, Macy. I think they should have definitely changed that. It's weird that Delirium is not doing it. I like that you don't have to spam anymore because the spam field, yeah, a bit tedious, a bit repeated, and yeah, 5 strikes are a bit too much in my opinion. 3 are definitely more reasonable, but the gameplay aspect of making it not so precise with timing and stuff, yeah, it's still in the game. Yeah, basically, Shadowbringers, by the way, that's basically a carve and spit AoE version with 2 stacks, am I right?
And you get 1 every minute. Not only that, but your Simulacrum also gets the Shadowbringer.
Let's see.
B.
Yeah, charge time 60 seconds. Deals unexpected damage to all enemies in a straight line before you with potency singer. Can only be executed while under the effect of dark side. Yeah. Because you are always in dark side, aren't you? I think there's no situation when you're not in, yeah, when you are in combat and are not in dark side. That's it's just another added OGCD to arcade, which I do like because yeah, it's definitely just more buttons to click, more action-driven style to play. The only thing that I would disagree with Larry is that Oblation, the new, what he said, the Blackest Night 2, is definitely not the Blackest Night. It's just a mitigation spell reducing incoming damage by 10%, which is totally different from the Blackest Night. The Blackest Night has an exact value of HP. Yeah, that depends on the player's actual HP, which is something completely different, because it can, yeah, just soak in a whole blow just for this attack or for this ability alone, and that means while the Blackest Night is able to soak up a whole strike, Oblation is it really depends on how high you get hit by something. Yeah, you can't mitigate very small damage, for example, completely. It's always scaling with the amount of damage being pushed out. Which you wouldn't want to anyway, cause 10% damage should be prior. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. When you open the fight or you have an intermission phase, when you want to re-enter combat with the boss, yeah, you want to be in fight anyway, so it doesn't matter if that's just sticking to dark side, because you want to have dark side up. Let's be honest, I think it's easier for newcomers to not make any mistake here. Absolutely different here. You can use Oblation while using TBN on yourself or someone else. That's awesome. Yeah, it has amazing insane stacking potential, and it's definitely useful ability, but it's definitely not TBN. And it's not what I really love about TBN. Like, for example, when you're now at Dark Knight, I did many Heavensward Extreme Trials just as a Dark Knight because of the Blackest Night, which with Oblation you could never beat, because when you get a 70,000 hit from Sephiroth, for example, Sephiroth Extreme, that will just crush you into 2 pieces, stomp you to the ground. But when you have the Blackest Night up and you have 200,000 HP, I think remembering correctly, it's 25% of your HP. You will absorb 50,000 hit points of that strike. So the strike is only 20k, which is definitely something you have to take into consideration. And there's another thing, except especially for Sophia, for example, or any boss where you can completely soak up the damage, you're able to actually not receive any debuff or any bad effect onto your character, onto yourself, because the damage got soaked up completely. That's the big difference. Even when you're getting a hit, like, where 10% is never better than TBN because of the percentage values, but I think it's more useful if you're the off tank, because you can stack it with TBN, because you can use TBN and Oblation onto the main tank, while the main tank can also do mitigation on his own. That's the big deal, I think. When you're able to do that, like a Paladin is doing, using a Bulwark, Sentinel, all that stuff, and then staying inside of his shield or behind his shield, plus that's a hell of a damage mitigation. That's amazing. He hasn't mentioned anything to Living Dad. I'm not sure. I think we will see. I don't want to. I am honest. I don't want to know every little detail, because I like to have some surprises at least. Like, when you know everything from Media Tour and nothing changes, it's kind of very boring to explore the job in the expansion. So, I'm actually not trying to force all info onto my brain. Like, it's useful, I know, and I can definitely show you some resources where you can find these info written down. There's a lot of Media Tour info that covers all of these spells in particular, and you should also check out Mr. Happy, Zeppla, Drek, GameSign, Mioni. They have all covered it. So, if you combine all these info together, I think you will have all the details you need. But I think that's a good overview. Like always, Larry's videos are very, very easy to watch and very enjoyable to watch. So I think that's the main point. Like Delirium getting 3 stacks, this Shadowbringer ability giving us more action-driven OGCDs, plus the Living Shadow being stronger now, just basically stronger, and you have another mitigation tool that you can single target choice direct onto anything, onto a mate or onto yourself. We're not sure about the potency boost. Maybe that has to compensate for something, but so far it seems that it's just straight way stronger than before. Like, this is really your big cooldown phase, and that's getting separated from Delirium. Like, Delirium is your little cooldown window, and Living Shadow is now your really big cooldown window. But let's see how the Dark Knight is having a second Shadowbringers expansion. I would love to see that. They don't have to change something. When I see the buttons here, unmanned, reducing cooldown of plunge, plus the effect that we talked about in the tank changes, role changes, that you can use your range attacks without breaking your combo or anything like that. This is awesome, because then you are able to pull something in a dungeon more actively and interrupt it for a minute and go further with just using unmanned to pull more enemies and all that stuff. That's just amazing. That's always what I wanted. Like, not just locked out of your ranged attacks by having started the combo. That's always something I didn't like, and they have addressed that on each tank as far as I know. Okay, that's it for the Dark Knight, and we got through this without many cuffs. That's great.